Nominal and the real GDP. When GDP is measured on the basis of current price, it is called GDP at current price or nominal GDP. It means that the GDP, when measured at the basic price at the market price, which is prevailing as a current price, it is called the nominal GDP. On the other hand, when GDP is calculated on the basis of fixed price in some year, it is called GDP at constant price or real GDP. It means that under the real GDP, the base is that some good year or some fine year has been taken as the base and it has been compared with that year by the current are the real GDP. Nominal GDP is the value of goods and services produced in a year and measured in terms of rupees, that is money, at current market price. In comparing one year with another, we are faced with the problem that the rupee is not a stable measure of purchasing power. GDP may rise a great deal in a year, not because the economy has been growing rapidly, but because of the rise in price or inflation. Next, one of the most important topic is that is GDP deflator. GDP deflator is an index of the price changes of goods and services included in GDP. It is a price index which is calculated by dividing the nominal GDP in a given year by the real GDP for the sum year and multiplying it by 100. Thus, GDP deflator is equals to nominal R current price GDP divided by real R constant GDP into 100. For example, we have taken the example of GDP deflator in 1997 and 98. It is 1426.7 crore that has been divided by 1049.2 crore and multiplied by 100, which give us 135.9. It shows that at constant price, GDP is increased by 135.9 due to inflation. A rise price from 1049.2 thousand crore in 1993 and 94 to rupees 1426.7 thousand crores in 1997 and 98. Next, one of the most important concept is that the gross national product or the GNP. GNP is defined as the total market value of final goods and services produced in a year, including net income from abroad. That is the main difference between the GDP and GNP. That under GDP we do not include the net factor income from abroad, but under GNP we include the final goods and services that are produced in a year, including net factor income from abroad. In other words, GNP is the total measure of the flow of goods and services at market value resulting from the current production during a year in a country, including net income from abroad. GNP includes four types of final goods and services, that is consumer goods and services to satisfy the immediate wants of the people. Second is gross private domestic investment in capital good consisting of fixed capital formation, residential construction and inventories of finished and unfinished goods and services produced by the government. And fourth one is net export of goods and services, that is a difference between value of export and imports of goods and services known as net income from abroad. GNP at market price is the total output produced only by their market price prevalent during the year in a country to get the gross national product at market price. Then GNP at factor cost. GNP at factor cost is the sum of the money value of income produced by and occurring to the various factors of production in a year in a country. Then that is net national product. Next concept, the net national product includes the value of total output of consumption goods and investment goods. The process of production uses up a certain amount of fixed capital. Some fixed equipment wears out, its other components are damaged or destroyed, and still others are rendered obsolete through technological changes. And this process is termed depreciation or capital consumption allowance. In order to arrive at NNP, we deduct depreciation from GNP. The word net refers to the exclusion of that part of total output which represents depreciation.